Self-aware leader, Jason Rigby here. We're going to do something pretty intense today. We're going to go over the 11 leadership principles from the United States Marine Corps. You're like, what? This is going to be for everybody. This is amazing stuff. You're going to love it. It's near and dear to me because I was in Somalia, Bosnia, and Haiti in the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps really taught me leadership at a very young age. And this is going to be in the show notes. There's going to be a PDF that comes from the Marine Corps that I'm going to put the link in the show notes. So I want you guys to study these, print these out, go over them. You can go over them with your leaders too. This is awesome. It gives you free material. It's online and all of it's good. So let's start with the 11 leadership principles. Know yourself and seek self-improvement. Know thyself. Duh. Right off the bat. Isn't that awesome? This principle of leadership, and I'm reading from the Marine Corps PDF, this principle of leadership should be developed by the use of leadership traits. Evaluate yourself by using the leadership traits. So those are the leadership traits, and I've done podcasts on those before from the Marine Corps, and you'll see these in the same PDF. And then determine your strengths and weaknesses. John Maxwell talks about this, leadership guru, wrote over 50 books. You know, he's my fave by far, and I think you should read all his books. He said something about like doubling down on your strengths. If you're a 7 in casting vision, you can get to a 9 or 10 if you work hard in that. But if you're a 2 or a 3 in maybe showing empathy, well, that's a thing that you could work on. But at the same time, I mean, as long as you're not an asshole or cruel or anything like that, but maybe you could cast so much vision and stay so positive and be so good at that you don't have to, take the time as much to be an empath, if that makes sense. And so find your strengths. What are your strengths? What are those things that you can double down on that you could get to a 9 or a 10? And then work on those. Develop the techniques to work on those. And they go in this Marine Corps PDF, they talk about ways that you can do this, how you can improve. And they have 6 things. And number 1 is make an honest evaluation of yourself to determine your strong and weak personal qualities. What makes you you? And you've had people tell you, whether it's been an ex, they'll tell you your weakness. Write those down. Who cares? We all have strengths and weaknesses. We're not perfect. Honestly, write them down. And what if people told you like, you're amazing with this or you're amazing in that? Write it down. Get real personal because you may be amazing at communicating with a partner and that could transfer over to having better communication at work. Maybe you're great on a personal level, but you're not very good as a leader. Well, you're just putting up a fake bias, a fake divide that doesn't need to be there because everybody's the same. Everybody's human. So you can find these things out by determining your strong and weak personal qualities. Next, seek the honest opinion of your friends or superiors. This is so important. This is what I like to do. I like to have somebody sit down with me, and especially like team or something like that, and say, hey, I want us to go over some of the things that you think that I could help you with. So if you ask that question, it's kind of like, hey, I want you to tell me what's wrong with me. No one's gonna do that. But if you say, hey, what are some things that I can help you with? And then through that, you can lead the conversation. They may be like, well, sometimes, I wish we could have more time together. That may be an indication, you could tell them to say, I'm not listening enough, am I? I need to stop and listen to you more. I'm being too busy, aren't I? And they'll be like, yeah, that would help a little bit. Seems sometimes you don't pay attention. Those are really good things, really good questions, and that's why coaching is so important. And when you get these honest opinions from those that you serve and those that are your mentors, you're going to get a really good picture externally. You can take that external list and the internal list that you made, combine them together. Now look what you have. Next is learn by studying the causes for the success and failures of others. This is why biographies are so good to read, and they're so interesting. A lot of them are done very well. If you get and sit down in a biography of a good leader in history, you're going to have an amazing time with the book. I guarantee you, and you're going to learn a ton. And look at it that way. What are their success and failures? Develop a genuine interest in people. Get truly interested in people. I like to get past the facade and find out really what makes people tick. How can I talk to their higher self? Who are they really deep down inside? They may not even see it or know it, but that as a leader, that's what I want to tap into. Because if my higher self can talk to their higher self, I've got a relationship that can't be broken. And also, I'm going to seek the best for them, ain't I? Master the art of effective writing and speech. And this is something that you just have to do. And you can start off by having more team meetings and write things out and practice with them. Don't tell them, hey, I'm going to practice speech with you. Just practice on being more concise and clear and saying less and asking better questions. Next is have a definite plan to achieve your goal. This is one thing I always ask leaders, and they always stumble at it. I'm like, what's your 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months game plan? What are those? Tell me right now, real quick. Most leaders can't give me that. And I'm like, well, you don't have a game plan. You have no plays to play the game of leadership, of life. You have nothing. What are you doing? You're going out onto the court winging it every day. No professional athlete would ever do that. You have to have a game plan. Because if you don't, next thing you know, you're going to start off on the 1 yard line and you're going to be scoring a touchdown for the other team and not even realize that you did it because there's nothing going on. It's just chaos. And if you've got all your other teammates that's working with you and they don't have a 3, 6, 9, 12, 24-month game plan, all you guys are just winging it. And I've never seen a team that can do that and be successful. All successful teams, all championships are won by people that have a clear vision. They know exactly where they're going. They have plays. They run them. You'll see this over and over and over again if you watch sports. Have a definite plan to achieve your goals. Next is not only know yourself and seek self-improvement, but be technically and tactically proficient. A person who knows their job thoroughly and possesses a wide field of knowledge, before you can lead, you must be able to do the job. I see this so many times in leaders. They don't want to take the time to get to know the details about the job. Get interested. Maybe you don't understand it. Pull that person in. Talk to them. Have conversations with them. Have them show you things. Maybe you could help them do a project and you could work on it together. You should be able to do the job. In the Marine Corps, this is really, really important. If you're a staff sergeant or a senior NCO or above, you've done the job for years and years. You're an expert in that job. Tactical and technical competence can be learned from books and from on-the-job training. It's so simple, guys. You can learn these things. It's important as a leader. At least be able to understand and know. Be able to read reports with what? Let's say it's digital marketing. What are the KPIs? If it's a financial statement, how do I read that? How do I go down and understand each item? As a leader, these are things that you need to understand. To develop this leadership principle, being technically and tactically proficient, you should know what is expected of you. Then expend time and energy on becoming proficient at those things. I've asked middle management leaders, how many of you are leaders and you have managers underneath you and they have no idea what is expected of them? And they don't ever ask that question to their boss. Key, guys, if you're in middle management, ask the question, what do you expect from me? Ask it all the time. Hey, this quarter, what do you expect from me? This month, what do you expect from me? With this project, what do you expect from me? Always be thinking about that. Because your boss's vision of what success looks like is in his head. And it's your responsibility as a middle management leader to get it out, get it on paper, and create success and move in that direction. If it's well executed and the vision is right, coming from your boss, I guarantee you, he's going to look at you as being indispensable. If you're taking what's in his brain, the vision that he has in his brain, and you're executing on that efficiently, and you're executing on that and kicking ass, think about that. But most managers, most middle leaders won't ask. They have no idea. They come up with their own kind of half-ass game plan, or they're just being a manager and doing tasks all day long and expecting that to get them somewhere. They just put out fires when they could have delegated 80% of it. And everybody's just responding to everything that's going on. No one is moving forward or taking any ground on the battlefield. Know what is expected of you, then expend time and energy on becoming proficient at those things. Form an attitude early on of seeking to learn more than is necessary. This is something I love to do. This is so good. Get an attitude, change your attitude towards this. You want to learn more than is necessary. You want to be the expert. This is my new role. I want to be an expert in this role. What does an expert in this role look like? What do I need to study and learn? What books do I need to read? I love leadership so much. When I'm on vacation, it's relaxing to me to read a leadership book, to read a biography, to read about history. I love doing that. It's fun for me. I'm not going to look at it and think I'm working. I love learning. It's my favoriteest thing to do. I would rather watch a YouTube podcast where I learn something than watch a TV show or a movie. It's so much more entertaining to me. I want to constantly be learning. Observe and study the actions of capable leaders. If you have leaders around you or you know somebody that's an amazing leader, get to know them as much as you can. Pay for their lunches, go golfing with them, even if you suck at golfing. Get questions, prepare questions. Make sure that you know this person because they're something that you can put a bullseye. There's something that's tangible that you know that you can see that's in your line of sight that they're doing it. And that's where you want to be. And if you hang around them, you're going to get there. Guaranteed. Spend time with those people who are recognized as technically and tactically proficient at those things. This is something that a lot of leaders don't do. Find your experts in your company and work with those experts. Spend time with them, coach them. Even if they're 2 or 3 levels below you, but you know they're an expert. Maybe they're an expert at sales and they're the top salesperson. Spend time with them. Find out what's going on. How are they there? Are they a lone wolf and they're just, a good closer? Like, find out all about them. Who are they? How are they so good at sales? Spend time with those people who are recognized as technically and tactically proficient at those things. Next is prepare yourself for the job of the leader at the next higher rank. What's that promotion look like? How am I going to prepare myself for that? Most people want a promotion and they never prepare for it. They don't dress like it. They don't act like it. What does it look like to prepare? Actually, like you're preparing to give a speech, a TED Talk. What does it look like to prepare yourself for the job of the leader at the next higher rank? Next, seek feedback from superiors, peers, and subordinates. And then we're going to do 3 a podcast because I don't want to keep this too long. The next one is know your people and look out for their welfare. This is so good, guys. This is why the Marine Corps is so amazing. This is what the Marine Corps says right here. Think about this. This is one of the most important of the leadership principles. A leader must make a conscientious effort to observe his Marines and how they react to different situations. A Marine who is nervous and lacks self-confidence should never be put in a situation where an important decision must be made. This knowledge will enable you as a leader to determine when close supervision is required. Know your people and look out for their welfare, guys. This is so good. How do we do this? To put this principle into practice successfully, you should put your Marines' welfare before your own. Be approachable. Encourage individual development. Know your unit's mental attitude. Keep in touch with their thoughts. And I'm going to stop right there because this is really good. Whether it's a unit in the Marine Corps, whether it's your team, you should know their mental attitude. Do they like sarcasm? Do they like to joke around a lot? Is it all comedy? Do they like to be more technical and serious? Are they more introverted and quiet? What is the mental attitude? How are their thoughts? This is where coaching comes in hand because you can develop how the team is thinking, kind of see who the real leader of the team is, who's influencing the team. And you can get into their thoughts if you do coaching. And you can find that mental attitude. I've fixed teams just off of putting one person on another team and another person on another team that matched the mental attitude. Just the attitude of the team, I was like, oh, this person's like super comedy, funny, sarcastic, kind of sometimes goes overboard. But then this other team that he can match with them, they're the same way. I put him over there, and then next thing you know, he's kicking ass, and he's like, thank you, boss. I was nervous, but da-da-da-da. I've done that so many times. Know your unit's mental attitude. Keep in touch with their thoughts. Next, ensure fair and equal distribution of rewards. I see this all the time. Leaders will pick a favorite and have a favorite, and then they just run with that favorite. And then it's like, and usually it's somebody that's feeding their ego. You have to be careful of this. I'm always weary if somebody wants to kiss my ass all the time or tell me how great I am. I don't need that. I need you to execute. The greatest thing you can do for me as a leader, and I tell my teams this, the greatest thing that you can do for me as a leader is execute. If we make mistakes, that's fine. That's great. Did we move? Did we go forward? In the last 24 hours, have we kicked ass? That's awesome. And you've moved that needle and you moved in that direction and we're fulfilling vision that's clearly outlined. That gets me excited. I don't need any accolades or anything. I don't need anybody to pump up my ego. I need people to execute. And then the last one here, and we'll close, is provide sufficient recreational time and insist on participation. Dude, I'm telling you, make it mandatory. Do things outside of work, whether it's a lunch, a dinner, whatever it is, make it mandatory. Make people participate. A lot of your introverts will just say no and not show up just because they're introverted. But once they get there, guess what happens? Everybody's having a good time. They see the people that they love, and then they're happy to be there. You've got to make people at least get there. It's the same as the gym. You don't want to go to the gym. Once you get to the gym, the endorphins start flowing. Guess what happens? It's the same with, bonding with people. It's the same scenario. Once they come in there, once they see their workmates, it's out of work. People are having a couple beers, glass of wine, whatever it may be. You're buying pizzas or steaks, whatever and then, everybody's having fun. Those people that would not have come will have fun. Provide sufficient recreational time and insist on participation. Maybe it's a volleyball, whatever it may be, axe throwing, whatever things you put on, and you need to do those things. If you don't have a lot of money, you can get Little Caesars pizzas or pizzas at Costco for super cheap and have pizza party, some beers and a couple bottles of wine. You could do it under $100 and have good participation and do it at a picnic table at a park. If you don't have a lot of money, there's so many ways that you can do this and have a great time and make sure people participate. It's a team effort. Everyone, I tell that everyone shows up. It's a mandatory meeting. You're getting paid to be there. So, if you're hourly, you're on the clock. If you're salary, it's required. It's mandatory. That way everybody shows up, even if they don't want to. Because I need the team to do things that are fun together as much as I need them. I'll take the afternoon off. That's well worth it to me. Take the afternoon off. Go to a place worth happy hour. Take 4 or 5 take a team and take off for the afternoon. You're going to get way more work done having them with the right attitude than you will with anything else. Guys, these 11 principles, we went through 3 of them. The 3 was know yourself and seek self-improvement, be technically and tactically proficient. Number 3, know your people and look out for their welfare. We're going to get into the other 8. Then I'll do 3, maybe 4, and we'll get through them in the next, 3 or 4 episodes. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Love you guys. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, do all those things. I'm all over social media, Self-Aware Pod, or type in Self-Aware Podcast. Selfawarepodcast.com is a website that has everything on there, all the episodes. And share, guys. Please share to other leaders that you know. Would really appreciate it. And thank you for the DMs.